Hey Aries, welcome to your weekly Sidereal Astrology forecast. This is for August 22nd through the 28th of 2016. I'm Athen, and this is for Sidereal Astrology. If you are new to the channel, be sure to check out the link down below because the signs are different. All right, so Aries, an important week here. This week we have a grand cross forming up in the sky involving the moon in the third quarter phase, but a lot of conjunctions making this a very significant week. So let's go and look at your ruler because your ruler is playing a big role. Mars has been transiting Scorpio recently, entered into here. So you may have been noticing about the past 3 or so weeks this shift towards this more deeper side to matters. You know, Mars in your 8th house is really emphasizing the importance of depth, of intimacy, of really getting down to the bottom of things. And that's where Saturn is already transiting. In fact, a very significant aspect, Mars conjoining up to Saturn, will be taking place this week here around Wednesday. So you guys might be feeling like with this stuff that you have been building, because Saturn has already been in this 8th house, regarding what really matters. And again, it could have to do with intimacy if it's on a deeper relationship. Could have to do with shared resources. Some of you, debts or bonds that are of that kind of nature that you could be working towards maybe freeing yourself up from, and building a sort of foundation with yourself spiritually so you can have a less karmically transformative repeating pattern in your life, letting go of those old belief systems and those old patterns, but really doing the work that's necessary. So with that, taking seriously truth, intimacy, transformation, and all of this, very important this week, as it has already been important with Saturn, but with your ruler going over Saturn, really emphasizing that. It also makes it a good week for you guys to generally take things seriously, have that patience, persistence, hard work, and things do pay off in time. May not seem like it collectively this week because Saturn is, that limiting energy, but if we limit ourselves and we're patient and we're persistent and we work towards our results in life, then it does come in time, and it actually does help work with this energy. A lot of you will be very productive this week. So that's the most significant in terms of that, but a bit later in the week here around Thursday and Friday, that Mars will be squaring up to Neptune. And of course, if you recall, Saturn has been squaring up to Neptune. So like I've been saying, if you've been feeling perhaps a bit of this uncertainty or doubt or unknowingness about maybe some of these deeper things in life, which has been the Saturn side of it, here your ruler goes over here. So it could be a confusing week for some of you. It could be doubtful if the mind gets too caught up into the details, if the mind tries to figure it out too much, because you here in the chart squaring up to Neptune could be easy to do that. So the key is to treat this week as a good week for personal development and spiritual development, which is what Neptune is all about. When it's in this square, it's a good, healthy way of expressing that. And through that, surrendering, detaching, letting go, accepting things for how they are. And again, it might have to do with the 8th house, but just generally because it is your ruler, even with yourself. And these goals, with Mars and Saturn getting together, it's like the long-term goals meet the short-term goals, but the short-term goals have to stretch out. They have to be patient into that bigger picture. So knowing that things are happening in divine timing and doing that spiritual work of surrender and acceptance can be excellent this week. All right, so those are the challenging aspects. This week we do have, it's actually a mixed week, although that was involving your ruler here. We do have Mercury conjoining up to Jupiter on Monday, starting the week. And so with this one, there can be perhaps a bit of optimism, maybe big picture thinking and seeing those possibilities that do have to do with your work. Jupiter has recently shifted back into your 6th house. And so this has been creating perhaps a bit of inspiration, perhaps a bit of seeing possibilities through your work. And when I say work, if it's not on the, like career level, it could be whatever you do on a daily level, that kind of a work. And also self-improvement in the sense of diet, routine, regimens. All of this are excellent with Jupiter. Should be plenty of opportunities collectively for all of you. And now with Mercury over this conjunction, you could be seeing that. In fact, Mercury in the 6th house does make this an excellent roughly month now, where you'll have this more practical side to taking care of things. right? Getting the routine in order, the regimens, the work in order, developing your crafts, and these kinds of matters. Now, the middle part of the week is going to have this Grand Cross. It's going to have all that stuff we talked about. And then at the end of the week, we do have Venus going over Jupiter. Okay, so this one, very nice too to top off the week. Perhaps seeing some of those possibilities, but enjoying them, connecting with them. Venus is going to transition into your 6th house this week. So there is this shift where your values can be refined, and in a healthy sense. It's good to strive for perfection. It's good, and there could be an attraction towards this of wanting things organized, and having things even orderly in your life, whatever that might be, personally or externally. And you can enjoy this, maybe enjoying that routine and whatnot. But with the conjunction up to Jupiter, you could be particularly seeing those possibilities there and cultivating them. So enjoying that over the weekend, whether it's the routine, whether it's the work. Some of you could even be having a new shift with the financial side of things because Venus does rule your 2nd house, and also maybe even with relationships. Maybe some new insights about that over the weekend as well. All right, so Aries, I hope you guys have a fantastic week. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all next week.